But no, man.
Skinamax.
Question of the night. We have a few questions of the night tonight, but we'll start off with the one that Anthony put up here. And Anthony,
Exactly.
go and take it away, man. Go and ask the
Yo,
question, sir.
what's your favorite line from a book or movie that's spoken by a villain? And to give people time enough to think, and this is great for the newcomers too, so we can get to learn about them, because we got a lot of them tonight, man, for MCA 50, man. That's amazing. But just to give people time enough to think, I might fuck up his name, but Christopher Walken.
Oh, right.
I got it. But his character in this movie called The Prophecy, where he pretty much plays the angel Gabriel. And his line in that movie is fucking amazing. But let me see if I can. But he pretty much like this girl comes to him and says, like, why are you trying to kidnap my daughter? Like, what the hell is going on? But in the movie, he says, because I am an angel. I kill firstborns while their mamas watch. I turn cities into salt. I even, when I feel like it, rip the souls from little girls. And from now into Kingdom Come, the only thing that you can count on in your life, in your existence, is never understanding why. I'm like, that pretty much just says, fuck you.
Where did you download that fucking script?
I'm like
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Scumbag shit. Yeah, I'm like, his line in that movie is amazing and actually inspired me to actually use a little bit of that to actually do because I'm a video game developer for people that don't know. And I'm actually using that for one of my characters that I created in one of my video games that I've been working on. So yeah, like that shit inspired me a lot. I love that fucking quote.
Man, I like he's like, yeah, that clip inspired me to fuck other people and kill them and in front of their mothers. Like, just Jesus.
Like, when he said that line, just that one simple line where he says, I turn cities into salt. I'm like, fuck. This dude is powerful and he's a dick.
And he makes really delicious snacks, apparently. Everything's turned to salt. Like, holy shit. But no.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, then the other one, too, just a short mention before y'all actually go on to y'all's. But Syndrome from The Incredibles, how he says in The Incredibles, where he says, when everyone's super, no one will be. And I'm just like, hell yeah. He was like, man, just like, because that whole movie is talking just about, you know, the normal people versus the people that's generally exceptional, and how people just for like participating, they always get participation awards and stuff like that. So I'm just like, that movie's theme is really impressive. And that quote kind of just sums it up in just one big burrito where you're just like, yeah, I want to make everybody super because I didn't feel like I was super back when you kept rejecting me. So I'm going to make everybody super so just nobody can be. So I'm just like, damn, that's powerful.
That is cool.
That is a good quote. For me, I think this one's going to be obvious because I brought this person up so many times before. But yes, it's good old Negan over here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can blink. You can cry. Hell, you're all gonna be doing that.
Yes! I love that shit, dude. I don't know why, but like something about Negan, just that fucking like brutal, like, you know what I mean? He's just so like chipper. And it's about horrible shit. Like, but yeah, I love that quote, man. Also, Freddy Krueger, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah.
But which one? Because he has so many great ones.
Oh, I know, man. But no, this scene over here at the end where he's just like, and let me try to get to it too. But basically, it's in the remake when he was basically saying, you know, why are you still breathing? Or why are you screaming?
Yeah, why are you screaming?
I haven't even cut you yet.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, man.
Scene, man.
That's what I'm saying. Why do people hate that remake? Because that Freddy made him creepy. Oh, man.
Yeah, I love that fucking scene, man. I love everything that, you know, is in the beginning of that movie, and then it gets so ridiculous towards the end. I don't dig it. But that was a very good remake.
I would say, for my personal favorite movie villain line was by Pinhead in Hellraiser 2, where he comes up to this girl and she's like trying to like make a bargain with him so that she can get out of there, and then he basically is like, okay, but let me tell you right now, if you trick me again, child, your suffering will be legendary even in hell. Like that shit to me was just so fucking raw. I remember like this one time I used this to intimidate someone because this guy was being a bully to my friend, and so like I basically came up to him and I was just like, don't fuck with my friend, man. And then like I worded it in that sense, and I was just like, you fuck with him again, like that shit's gonna happen. And he was just like, all right, guys, let's bounce. Let's go, man. And it's just, I love that line. I fucking love that line.
One of those Hellraiser movies too. Like Hellraiser is a dick. Because I remember one of those movies, somebody's crying and shit while he's torturing them. He's like, why are you crying? He's like, you're ruining good suffering.
Yeah. He was like, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
I'm like, what? It's like, Jesus, man, that guy is an asshole.
No, just that whole like we have an eternity to know your flesh. Like, fuck you. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
For me, I think my favorite villain line is probably from the new Pablo Escobar Netflix series, where he tells the cops silver or lead, because that just showed how much of a badass that dude is. That if you don't work with me, I'm just gonna fucking kill you.
yeah, another one too, the Joker from The Dark Knight, and Adrian's talking about The Dark Knight here too. Like, so many great quotes. There is a lot of great quotes, but my favorite is like the whole fucking, like hit me, and he's like standing in the street, just like just hit him, fuck. Like,
There's a lot of good quotes too, because I was gonna do that, but everybody was probably gonna quote The Dark Knight. Like, as soon as I said that,
Bane.
people were just gonna start quoting Dark Knight.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time like looking past The Dark Knight for quotes.
Because like another good one of my favorite ones is like, how did I get these scars? Why so serious? But the one in the hospital where he says, because it's all part of the plan. If I say a military man blows up in a Humvee, it's fine. It's all part of the plan. But if I say I kill one old lady, everybody loses their minds. I'm like, he's right. And the funny thing about that's what makes Joker such a great villain in that fucking movie, because he's right. He's actually so fucking right. So I'm just like, man, that Joker in that fucking movie. Holy shit.
Yeah, I gotta give you this, Anthony. Like, I'll say I really love Joker, but even though the movie I wasn't too fond of, I did like Bane in Dark Knight Rises, just his quotes from what I can understand. Because, everyone does the Bane voice. It's like, species that shit. Like, everyone does that eventually. But I just like the one where he's in the building with that guy, and he's basically saying, like, where the guy's trying to say, you know what, I'm in charge. No, say it. He's like, no, do you feel in charge? And he's just like, what? And I paid you a small fortune to give you power over me. And it's just like the fact that is so true. Like, you can buy someone to like be a security guard and all that shit, but if you can't physically defend yourself, like you have like no ways to protect yourself. That just was so raw to me. Just like, I don't give a fuck. You're like, I can crush you anytime I want. It's just so great.
Is it weird that like every time I think of Bane now, I think of strawberries are filled with
Strawberries with fiber.
Strawberries are packed with fiber.
Fiber! Let me show you what
I knew that's what you're laughing about, by
Strawberries with fiber.
Honestly, I was gonna say Joker too, but not from The Dark Knight. Honestly, beside The Dark Knight, which is the easiest route to go with.
yeah.
Some of my favorite quotes come from the Return of the Joker movie, the Batman Beyond one, when he just assassinates Bruce Wayne's character after he basically torturing Tim Drake, in that spoiler alert for a 15-year-old movie. But after he's torturing Robin, is basically saying that I know who you are, Bruce, and behind all the batterings and stirring, that you're just a little boy crying for mine your day in a place. Like, dang, just destroyed. Like,
I like the delivery
that
of
whole
that
scene
too.
in
Like, fuck yeah,
general.
man.
Yeah, that is man. That scene is Return of the Joker is when fucking Tim Drake loses his shit and he starts laughing and
It's
they
such
kill
a
Joker.
disturbing scene.
I love
Yes,
that.
that scene
Love
is
that
amazing.
movie.
Yeah,
That whole
That scene
flashback.
scared me as a kid.
That whole
Oh,
flashback
man.
sequence is easily. It would be in my top 3 Batman animated movie sequences of all time. I would put that up with anything, even over some of the stuff in The Dark Knight. And I love The Dark Knight. Don't get me wrong, but that is like the closest thing to Heath Ledger's Joker that I think that you'll ever get.
true in animated
Yeah.
form. Actually.
Now,
Batman films did have some great quotes, like "You'll follow me to the cooler. Come on."
Everything that came,
The dinosaurs, the Ice Age.
Ice Age.
everything that came out of Arnold Schwarzenegger's mouth is fucking like just quotable in that fucking.
Just kick some ice. Yeah.
No, but Julie, did you have one? Because I see you're not muted. Did you think of one? Or no?
Oh, well, the only things that I can really think of are like horror movies. So like The Shining, where Jack Nicholson's all like, "Here's Johnny."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first one that came to my mind. And then I started thinking of like Fight Club and all the quotes that Tyler Durden had. in it.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that was thinking too.
Yeah,
Like
that's really good.
Yeah.
those moments inside the like before the movie got really started with the whole like action show, ever like just the beginning when they're just talking about like like we're not your fucking like dishwashers, we're not your fucking like something like fuck you guys, like we're taking over. Like I love that shit, dude. Like Brad Pitt, that's like my favorite Brad Pitt anything that he's ever done, man. I love that shit.
I got actually two. I'll say the quick one that might have been mentioned because I missed part of the conversation. Did anyone say anything from Tarantino?
Oh
No, God, that's
surprisingly not.
shit.
Because like he
That's
takes
like
up
a
most of that
plethora.
section. It's kind of funny because it depends what point of view you're looking at the movie from. But Reservoir Dogs like has some really fucking amazing lines. Like, "You gonna bark all day, doggy, or you gonna bite?" You know, like that shit is fucking like classic as fuck. And like, there's lots of like really great lines from, I forget that guy on the left, his name, but he's like, he could be seen as the villain, but he's also like, you know, the hero in a lot of ways. Cause like the hero who we follow is technically the villain who has tons of amazing lines. But, I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Classic. But
Pulp Fiction,
just
man.
to say the ones that are like eating out my chest right now, to come out and have me say them. Dead by Dawn, Dead by Dawn, Dead by Dawn.
Wait, what's that from?
Evil Dead 2? What the fuck kind of question is that? No, I got one more answer to give though. In all seriousness, this is the only one I'll read, and I'll see if someone can guess it.
Okay.
Someone says to this guy, "Who are you?" "Explorers in the further regions of experience.
Pinhead.
Demons to some, angels,
Angels
to
to
others."
others. Pinhead, I love Pinhead. That's Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
Yeah, Hellraiser, bro.
Oh, how did I not know that? I'm actually ashamed. Holy shit.
I love that
That's
line. I
first one.
kind of want to get a tattoo of it.
Skull, stop it, you motherfucker. God damn it. I hate Skull. I fucking Skull, dude, go fuck yourself. Like, God damn it. No, man, Pinhead. I'm actually really surprised that everyone brought up so much Pinhead or Hellraiser stuff today. I fucked the chat. You fucked it up. I'm not showing the chat anymore.
You fucked it up.
Yeah, you fucked it up. Now everyone's fucking grounded.
Everybody's fucking grounded for MC.
Oh boy.
No, but man, y'all got a lot of great quotes and great
Wow.
from the newcomers
Yeah,
too.
no,
Wait,
but Allie-
Allie? You have one?
Yo.
Yeah.
Okay. So I gotta go with my Star Wars first.
Okay.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
gonna
anything
say.
that comes out of Darth Vader's helmet, basically.
Or
Like
his
James Earl
breathing hole.
Jones' voice. I mean, I am your father. Iconic. You don't know the power of the dark side.
Join the
try not
dark
to-
side.
Yes, join the dark side, whatever. But then also, I gotta go with the Emperor too.
Yes, you
mean,
gotta go with the
good-
Emperor.
He had some amazing lines in Return of the Jedi. Also, unlimited power from Revenge of the Sith. I use it all the time. But okay, so this one I'm actually gonna read, and this one I searched, and I was thinking kind of what are some good villain lines, and this one came up, and this is from one of my favorite movies, Interview with the Vampire, and seriously one of the best roles Tom Cruise has played in. He was amazing as Lestat, and I just love this quote. He says, "Evil is a point of view. God kills indiscriminately. So shall we. For no creatures under God are as we are none, so like him as ourselves." It's very pretend. But at the same time, I just the way he said it. I was just like, dang.
After that, man, I feel like Allie. After that, I feel like amen, and we gonna eat food.
And,
Or we're gonna just
yeah,
start
and the
with
food's
plus.
gonna be people.
No,
No.
that was amazing. This was
Don't get
amazing.
excited, Julian. Suck each other's what, man? Oh, I fucking knew it was gonna happen. That's what I've been saying all night.
No, gotcha. Praise be the fast one, man. Praise be the fast one.
Yeah.
Hey man, in the name of the kindly tales, the vengeful knuckles, and the fast and very praised one, Sonic.
In speed we trust.
And
Speed we-
Like
Motherfuckers-